from the very start of this thing, I have taken a different tack toward this impeachment investigation than everybody else. I called it garbage from the minute it appeared. I literally could not believe that grown-up men and women were on television discussing seriously whether this was an impeachable offense or whether Adam Schiff was not lying this time when he lied all the other times, whether the Democrats were not running a game, or whether the impeachment they had planned since the day he was elected was not now unfolding in front of us after the Russian thing failed and the obstruction of justice thing failed and the Stormy Daniels thing failed. It was like anything they could pull out of their pocket. Now, this information, they could have been listening to the Andrew Klavan show. It's where the future comes to rehearse. But now this information is just beginning to seep out that their candidates suck and they got nothing. The impeachment thing is moving nobody. The New York Times has a fascinating front page today, a former newspaper, as you know, but it has this front page that really is beginning to feel a little like squirrely, a little uncertain of what's going on. So first they have this poll. They say, despite low national approval ratings in the specter of impeachment, President Trump remains highly competitive in the battleground states likeliest to decide his reelection, according to a set of new surveys from the New York Times, Upshot, and Siena College. So remember, this is after all this time. They've been pushing this narrative. Trump is falling. He's failing. He's 20 points behind Warren. He's 40 points behind Biden. It's just a matter of time. Suddenly, none of that is true. Across the 6 closest states that went Republican in 2016, he trails Joe Biden by an average of 2 points among registered voters, but stays within the margin of error. And that's really scary to Trump, because here's Joe Biden's response to that.
Increasing exponentially. Top 1% and 2% have done exponentially better.
Well, corporate profit has been up over exponentially.
Their profits are coming up exponentially.
It's going to be up exponentially.
When you register it, the likelihood of it being used diminishes exponentially.
The guy's an idiot. He's an idiot. He's not going anywhere. In fact, Trump had this hilarious routine he did at one of his rallies where he was talking about what the narrative is about impeachment and what they're trying to sell the American public. And he did an imitation of it. Here it is.
Clinton, she was easy, right? Obama was easy. The Bush dynasty was easy. But Sleepy Joe, I'm worried about, right? So then I said to myself, gee, I guess there's only one way. Let's call up Ukraine for help. These people are sick.
What these people are so full of hate and self-assurance and so drunk on the power they've accumulated in their deep state and their administrative state, which just kept rolling along no matter who was in office, that they can't hear how good the guy is. I mean, that is really funny material, and it really does make them seem utterly ridiculous. This poll, anyway, goes on to say Trump leads Elizabeth Warren by 2 points among registered voters. And I'll get back to her in a minute, because there's a really interesting article in the Times about this as well. And he leads Elizabeth Warren, which is the same margin as his win over Hillary Clinton in these states 3 years ago. And we all know what happened to her. The poll showed Bernie Sanders deadlocked with the president among registered voters, but trailing among likely voters and also living voters and also voters with an IQ above 6. So I mean, I think this idea, that's the other thing, when you interview these guys randomly, it doesn't mean anything. You got to interview likely voters, people who can vote, people who will vote. So I want to show you an ad. I don't usually play political ads, but this is a Trump ad, which I think is really fascinating for 2 reasons. One, because they're doing exactly what I thought they should do. And I've written to guys in the White House and told them I think this is what they should do. And that's the first thing. And the other thing is, it's a bad sign for you when your opponent's ad is simply factual, when the ad is just stating the way things are. Because then people sit there and go, you can say this, you can say that, but those are the facts. This is a great ad, but the thing about it is, it's all true. Listen to this.
President Trump is changing Washington, creating 6 million new jobs, 500,000 new manufacturing jobs, cutting illegal immigration in half, obliterating ISIS, their caliphate destroyed, their terrorist leader dead. But the Democrats would rather focus on impeachment and phony investigations, ignoring the real issues. But that's not stopping Donald Trump. He's no Mr. Nice Guy, but sometimes it takes a Donald Trump to change Washington.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
That no Mr. Nice Guy line is genius, and they should use it again and again. I've told them this, basically, with the few contacts that I have over there, that Trump has had a tremendously successful record. He really has. He has done amazing things. He's kept a lot of his promises, and he's had the Congress against him every step of the way. Even when he had both houses of Congress, the Republicans were not all that, apt to help him out. Some of them didn't want to help him out. Some of them were just incompetent. Some of them were afraid, but they didn't get that much done. But he has gotten a lot done, and he's really done a good job. But he's off-putting to a lot of people. Like I said at the beginning, he was off-putting to me and still sometimes is, but he's especially off-putting, I think, to suburban women. A little bit of self-awareness, a little bit of saying, hey, I know how I come across, but look at what I'm dealing with. I know that sometimes I'm not the nicest guy, but the nicest guy couldn't deal with what I deal with. To say, yeah, I'm a great big character, and sometimes that's off-putting to some people, and I get it. But look at what is going on here, because it is a mess. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Andrew Klavan Show. If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date on all our future content.